And it says proceeded under police escort to Scania. Who was the police escort?
As far as my knowledge goes, except for Mr. Mashaba and company, there was no police escort per se. It was security personnel from Yellow Jersey that escorted the truck, because the personnel at Yellow Jersey was uncomfortable with this whole line of inquiry. I think, if my memory serves me well, that was the reason why they sent a security officer in a separate vehicle with the truck to Scania.
So, what would have been the appropriate response at that point in time? You've got a traffic chief, and you've got a police officer. What would have been the appropriate protocol for them to follow at that point at Yellow Jersey?
At Yellow Jersey, I would have placed the seize on the truck, and I would have obtained a search warrant, and I would have searched the truck at Yellow Jersey.
So this thing of saying, well, we'll just follow the truck to the next destination is clearly just...
If you have solid evidence, why would you allow them to do that? There's a lot of things that can happen en route from Yellow Jersey to Scania. And if the consignment was that big, I would have stopped the truck from leaving and wait for the courts to be available, give my evidence in writing to the courts, and then apply for a search warrant for that specific truck at the premises of Yellow Jersey.
Instead, what they did was they allowed... Apologies.
Also, you are able to do a search and seizure even without a warrant if you have a tangible basis for doing so, and if you fear that waiting for a warrant might defeat the purpose of the search and seizure.
Absolutely right, Commissioner. Absolutely right. But at the end of the day, one would... Sorry, can I continue, Commissioner? What one would like to do is to, if you have the opportunity to then get people there, secure the truck, go and rather apply for a warrant. It's a safer route to take, and we prefer to take the safer route rather than to take the route as explained by your good self, Commissioner.
I wanted to ask a follow-up question, Colonel. Do the traffic police have authority to search and seize containers for drugs? Isn't there a unit that is responsible for that the chief should call to attend to the matter, while he waits at the scene, obviously, to make sure that the scene does not move or the drugs are not taken out of the container? But as a matter of principle, I had always understood that traffic police deal with traffic on the road. When it comes to containers being at, in this case, it would be the yard of Yellow Jersey, which is the company that is transporting the container from the port to its place of destination. Do traffic police have authority to just call a random policeman and a random security guard to come and help them search the container?
No, Commissioner, that is not standard operating procedure, no. So I will agree with you to say that if I was in his shoes, I would definitely have called, a lot of people. I would have started with the local police station and then escalate the thing, as I indicated on one of the previous questions, at least to the Provincial Investigation Unit dealing with narcotics. And if I see the size of the consignment after searching, I would definitely involve the DPCI on that matter, Commissioner.
Because it raises suspicion that traffic police are themselves doing this.
Indeed, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Colonel, we've had evidence that traffic officers or people in the traffic law enforcement space, their functions include crime prevention. And so with that, the answer that you give, that they don't have authority if they happen upon a drug consignment, it seems to me we may have to distinguish between what is prudent to do and what they are precluded as a matter of law or for lack of authority from doing. Maybe if we could just clarify that, because we've had quite extensive evidence, which was a subject of debate, but the point of it, or the essence of it being, they are not just about traffic law enforcement, but if a crime happens, then they have a duty to, or they have the power to deal with that. What do you say to that?
Commissioner, yes, but I think the same goes for a normal member of the public. If a crime happens in their presence, they can act on it, but they still need to involve the police. If my memory serves me well, a traffic officer also is just allowed to operate in the area that is designated for. In this instance, I would have definitely standard operating procedure would have caused him to actually call especially when he's a senior person, to call the right people to the scene. I mean, even private security companies is also not mandated per se, but their main operation is to assist with crime prevention. But they don't do that on their own. They do that in collaboration with the South African Police Service.
Okay. And then a related question. The traffic chief or chief of traffic, such as Mr. Mashaba was or is, are people in that position, and maybe traffic officers in general, but I want to limit it to someone who holds that kind of position, chief of traffic. Do they have the training how to handle a drug situation such as this, where they have information? Ordinarily, the SABC or the DPCI would do a drug seizure, drug bust. Is someone in that position trained? Does their training include dealing with drug enforcement, such as seizures?
Commissioner, I cannot elaborate on the specific training that this chief has undergone. But generally speaking, I'm of the opinion that I don't think so. But again, it's my opinion. I cannot elaborate on the specific training or the history in law enforcement that this specific officer has undergone. But again, if I'm unsure about anything I do, example, I mentioned earlier that I oversee illicit mining, for example. And I'm no specialist on illicit mining. So I would approach someone that's a specialist on illicit mining to say, listen, I have this situation, or I believe that I've got information on such a situation. Can you please come and assist? So I cannot elaborate on his training, but I can just say what I would have done in his shoes, Commissioner.
Yes. I guess what I'm trying to get out of you is whether across the different areas of law enforcement, including traffic, is there general training about handling drug scenes? For example, is that training that is given across, or there are specialized teams or units that get training about it?
To answer your question, I believe not. Why I'm saying this is that on 2 occasions now, I myself have, on request of personnel from the MEC of Safety and Security Gauteng's office, I have been requested to give sort of in-service training. The first time it was 3 days, the second time it was 2 days, to give in-service training to the traffic officers and even to the traffic wardens. And I know this is also a point of contention in Gauteng, but to give training to them, a very basic training, because that type of training takes years. Because you have to build up specific experience and the like, but to give them sort of just a sense on what to do. And one of the things I definitely mentioned there is if you come across a drug lab, for example, or if you come across a large consignment of narcotics where what you believe is narcotics, because you cannot look at narcotics or at powder and say this is definitely narcotics. One of the things I definitely mentioned to them there is that, guys, you need to contact the correct people. Here's the people that you need to talk to, and here's how you deal with it. Rather safeguard the crime scene and get the people with the proper training in.
Lastly, and maybe there's a way in which it fits with what you say, lastly, there is no, does it mean therefore that there is no protocol which guides a member on the spot who either comes upon information or comes upon drugs, who they should call next, how they should process that? You earlier on spoke about one of the people that Mr. Mashaba called to the scene is an administrator, if I heard you properly, was someone in an administrative capacity at a police station in the Val, I think you said. We've had cases where someone has called their friend because they say, well, I know that friend is always available, friend in the police still, but say, I know they're always easily available, so they will accompany me to a scene. I think here we also have instances of someone who has called a brother to come to the scene. So does that mean there are no protocols that would guide a police officer, whether traffic or any other person, that when you happen upon this, your next line that you call for reinforcement or for support or assistance in any way is your immediate commander, for example, or it has to be somebody within the jurisdiction or someone within your police station? There's nothing like that.
Commissioner, no, but at the end of the day, a senior person like Mr. Mashaba, do I pronounce it correctly? Yeah, would, in my humble opinion, ought to have known that at the end of the day, he cannot call someone that does analysis, crime stats analysis at a police station to come and assist him with major drug information. So there's nothing in writing per se, but if you know that you're going to sit with a major crime scene, you have to follow crime scene management protocols. And then if I have that type of information, I'd love to have someone with me that can actually deal with the correct protocols in terms of crime scene management. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you, Commissioner. So what happens here, in fact, is none of that happens. Instead, the civilian employee of yellow jersey is able to issue an instruction and say, we're going.
Yeah.
Come or don't come, but we are going. That's actually what happened.
Yes, Commissioner.
And so then they arrive at Eriton, which is where the Scania warehouse is. Okay, so 46.5, can you read that paragraph, please, into the record?
Upon arrival at Scania, the two officers, Mashaba and Manganye, allegedly opened the container and later claimed the bags containing narcotics fell from within the container, necessitating the bags to be loaded onto Officer Manganye's vehicle. It's an unmarked black van. It was a Nissan Bakkie.
Okay, let's just pause here. You say later claimed that bags containing narcotics fell from the container. Were there other witnesses? The bags did actually fall off the container. You were able to establish later.
Yeah, they, as far as my memory serves me, Commissioners, the personnel at Scania was instructed by Officer Mashaba to open the back of the container when these bags fell out. And as I said earlier, you cannot, by looking at a bag, say this bag contains narcotics.
Let's have a look at those bags. How many bags were there that fell out?
Yeah, I must lie to you, but it's 20-odd bags.
Okay. So this is a photograph at page 4 of the exhibit bundle. Are these the bags that fell off the container?
That is indeed correct. I didn't see the bags fell off the container. These bags were on this black bakkie when I arrived at the scene, but these were the bags that I was told fell out of the container.
Do you know the source of this photograph?
The source of this photograph, when I was informed that I'm going to be in front of the commission, I asked around some of my old team members if anyone still had photographs of the crime scene, because I had a problem with my phone. It was destroyed. It fell off the car's roof on the highway. So it was destroyed. So I didn't have photographs anymore. So one of my members, Warrant Officer Morris, actually forwarded the photographs that I submitted to the commission's team. And this was one of the photographs. These are indeed the bags that was at the back of the black bakkie.
These are not actual bags, are they?
No, Commissioners, these are not actual bags. It's sort of black rubbish bags as we know them, combined with a very broad type, sticky tape that these bags are manufactured with. It's not normal bags. Even the handles of these bags are made with that sticky tape and the black bags.
If we turn to the next photograph, page 5, can you tell us what we are looking at here?
What you're looking at here is the content of those black bags. That would typically be what was later established to be a brick of cocaine.
So what it looks like, if you can just confirm for me, is that, because this looks like a canvas bag with a zip, is that inside the plastic rubbish bags, basically?
That would be correct, Commissioners. I think why they do this, I also asked the question, why they do this is, remember there's a lot of moisture when these bags are at sea. And it's sort of to protect that canvas bag with the wrapping. In the right-hand corner from my side, one can clearly see the black tape that was used to cover those bags.
So inside the black canvas bag is this brick that's also wrapped in plastic.
That's correct, yes.
And that brick has got a picture on it.
Yes.
And what is that?
I think there's a picture of the two types of brick pictures that we got. That is a Red Bull. I think the other photograph, if you would, is maybe I think the next photograph shows
the next. So page 6 is just another example of the bricks.
Yes.
And this is a particular insignia.
A particular insignia. That is a Red Bull.
And what is the significance of this picture?
The significance of this we picked up is that, excuse me, the end users, being the drug syndicate, specific syndicates have specific insignia that they request is put on to their product that is exported into our country for them. The other photograph, on one of the other photographs, you will see there's a black seagull on a white background.
I just want
So it's for specific parts of the syndicate.
Right. Have you seen this particular insignia before, the Red Bull?
Variations on the bull, but not the specific one.
What type of variations?
You would get it's also a Red Bull, but it's more like, a refined picture of only head of a Red Bull, or a Red Bull standing in the air, or, more than that one, or a more defined picture of a Red Bull and the like. So it's not it can mean that it was for different sections within the syndicate, or even a different syndicate that comes in on the same consignment.
So, thank you. The next picture. Okay, so that's just another picture of, I am assuming that these are the bricks that came out of that bag.
Correct, yes.
So that would be 11 bricks. Oh, no, because they're stacked.
3, 6, 9, 12,
There's more than
15.
11 because they're stacked.
It looks like 31.
Okay.
Because they look like three stacks high and two, yeah, looks like 31.
31 bricks.
Yes.
So the canvas carry bag carries about 31 bricks each.
That seems to be at that stage, yes.
Okay. All right, so the next photograph on page 8. Right, this is what you were referring to earlier. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
What we're looking at is, again, some of the Red Bull bricks, as well as a brick with insignia of a black seagull, looks like a seagull, on a white background.
Have you seen this insignia before?
No, I haven't seen this specific insignia before, no.
Okay. And then if we turn to page 9. What are we looking at here?
What we're looking at here is all the bags now unpacked. We counted the bricks, and then the bricks were then sealed in official exhibit bags. And it is those exhibit bags containing the bricks that you're seeing in that picture.
Okay, so those are now all the bricks in the exhibit bags. And this is at Eriton still, right? That location where this picture was taken, where exactly is that?
At the Scania premises in Eriton, that's correct, Commissioners.
Thank you.
At which point did you determine that this was cocaine? Because you have done no analysis and no testing. All you are seeing is bricks in these bags.
We did not at that stage determine it was cocaine per se, but out of previous experience, Commissioner, we believed that this was bricks of cocaine weighing more or less 1 kilogram. Yeah? And I put in my statement, although it would be determined by a forensics analysis. But out of experience, there's nothing else that they pack in this form.
So the eye test told you that this must be cocaine.
Yeah, it's not like I remember when other witnesses, you asked if you do the tongue test, that only happens in movies.
Okay, so we're going to come back to the crime scene and how this was handled. But for now, I just want to follow your statement. These are the bricks we know now. These are the bags that fell out of the container. Let's just go back in time now. So they arrive, they open the container, the bags fall out of the container. Can you just go to 46.6?
Yeah. 2 officers were then joined by another officer, Pakula.
Okay. And you met Officer Pakula when you arrived on the scene later?
Warrant Officer Pakula was pointed out to me by then Captain Sebola, now Lieutenant Colonel Sebola, who was the investigating officer and at that stage crime scene manager, as one of the people that he was intending to arrest.
Okay. So, did he arrive, do you recall at what point he arrived?
He was already there when I arrived at the scene. So I'm not sure when he arrived.
That was much later, yes. Okay, so at this point, we've already established what should have happened at earlier points along this train of events. Now you open a container and these bags fall out. There's good reason to suspect it's drugs.
Absolutely.
What should have happened at that point in terms of crime scene protocol?
Actually, Commissioners, before that point, and I think General Flynn also testified to that, what should have happened is that the seals and the sealed containers should have been photographed first and foremost. Then when it's opened and these things fall out, everyone move back and let's photograph what happened here now. And each step of the way should have been photographed.
So the commissioners have been taken through a little bit through the crime scene protocols and national instructions last week, but from my understanding, please confirm or correct me, that is important. The first thing one does this comes from the protocol on seizure of illicit drugs. The first thing you do is you secure the scene.
Absolutely.
Was it secured here?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, let's just go back to 46.7 as we deal with this crime scene. Can you read paragraph 46.7 into the record?
During the time the officers were busy
Colonel?
with this, sorry?
Before you do that,
Sorry,
I should have
Commissioner.
asked this question before you started. What is the purpose of photographing the container while it's still sealed? Can you just explain why you do that?
Very plain and simple to show that if there's going to be a court case, to show that that seal is still intact. And to the best of whoever's knowledge, crime scene manager knowledge, that there was no tampering with that seal up to that point, to try and establish that, yeah.
Up to the point when the police now become involved with it.
Indeed, correct, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thanks, Ms. Hassan.